A friendly bar in the middle of nowhere? A safe haven? Or the flashpoint of something truly terrifying?
He had visions of burning people.
What hellish fate befell Heather Young?
It just happened. I snapped.
It's just a little clearing in the forest. Onaway, Michigan, a few miles from the Canadian border, population slightly more than 800. A town so small the local hotspot is literally a cabin in the woods.
Safe place.
Safe place.
No trouble.
No trouble. It's a decent place to get some good food and have some conversation with people you know.
42-year-old Heather Young is a mother of three with an athletic build and a youthful personality, visiting this quaint little village of cherry trees and dairy farms with her boyfriend, Terry Gary. Heather's elderly father, David Dentler, says his daughter has been looking forward to this summer trip for weeks.
She was in a hurry. Gotta get going. I hugged her and kissed her. I said, be safe.
Heather is finally meeting Terry's daughter, Allie, who lives in Onaway with her husband and kids. It's supposed to be a chance for them to get to know each other. But within days of getting to Onaway, those plans completely fall apart.
They had a tiff.
They had a tiff. Things weren't working out. Terry's daughter, Alicia, needed to have Terry and Heather leave.
Terry sides with his daughter and stays in Onaway. With that, Heather says she's going home to her mom, Gail, who lives 300 miles away. But the despondent Heather never makes it.
For some reason, I just had that feeling that,
Mother's intuition.
yep, that something wasn't right.
Gail reports her daughter missing. It's not long before cops discover something that really scares her. It's Heather's car, abandoned in an Onaway parking lot.
We have information that she could be up here. What's going on?
Police soon zero in on the small town's popular watering hole, the Cabin Bar and Grill.
This would seem to be a safe place for a young woman to come have a beer.
Oh, for sure. This is a small village. People know everyone. It's safe here. We're relatively crime-free.
Her fresh breakup with Terry still stinging, Heather soaks up some alcohol and the comfort of strangers.
She had just had a situation with Terry where she was going to be leaving him, and she had come in here before with him, so she was comfortable here.
She pours out her heart to who appears to be a kindly older gentleman named Brendan Walker.
Her and her boyfriend had gotten into a fight. She needed somewhere to stay. And he said, well, I have an extra room.
The Good Samaritan offers Heather a shoulder to cry on and an extra room at his cabin to sleep off her sorrows.
She needed a place to stay.
That's basically what it comes down to.
It's late, and Brenton's kindness is a welcome relief.
She agreed to go.
She agreed to go with Brenton to his house.
The next day, Brenton is back at the Cabin Bar and Grill.
We just sat down at the bar talking to these two ladies, and they were teasing him, about maybe did you get or whatever.
An embarrassed Brenton tells the owner of the bar, Danelle Starks, that definitely didn't happen. And Heather left without saying a word the next morning.
And he said, no, she left early this morning before I even woke up.
But investigators will get a treasure trove of useful information from the old man.
Now, you spent some time with him.
Yes, I did.
Going over the property, walking around.
Yes.
It turns out police believe Brenton might be the last person to see Heather alive.
When do things go wrong?
Now, that's an interesting question.
Somewhere deep in the forests of northern Michigan, Heather Young is missing.
We were under the impression that she was gonna put some gas in her car and then head home, back towards her mom. But
Drive downstate.
Yeah, but she ended up here.
Here is this small town saloon where the mother of three stopped for a drink, only to vanish the next day. Was it last call for Heather Young?
I have never, owning this place, seen someone just leave with someone that they did not know.
But that night, Heather does. An elderly stranger, Brenton Walker, offers her a place to stay for the night.
And Brenton Walker had an extra room.
Yep.
On this recorded phone call, Brenton tells police his motivations with Heather are completely platonic.
All we did was have some drinks, that's it.
Okay.
We had some drinks and we talked. And it was mostly her talking. That's it. She was talking about him.
The him Walker's referring to is Terry Gary, the ex-boyfriend Heather broke up with just hours before she pulled up a stool at the bar. And what Brenton says next makes detectives' blood run cold.
She was really afraid. And I don't know why. She didn't want to go back, that's for damn sure.
In their desperate search for Heather, cops next put Terry Gary on tape and on the hot seat.
Were you guys fighting?
No, I tried to,
Did you hit her?
I did not lay a hand on her.
We're not going to find her in some pucker brush somewhere with your fingerprints all over her?
Oh, God, no. God, no. I'm not that guy. I have 3 0 tolerances. You don't hit women, you don't rape kids, and you don't steal from me.
Police never charged Terry Gary. In fact, after his interrogation, they no longer even consider him a suspect. That's because cops can't shake the nagging feeling Brenton Walker knows more than he's telling. And now he's clamming up.
I don't appreciate the way you guys are coming off with this, and then tonight you do it all over again. And I'm repeating the same stuff to you.
I get that you're not happy having to talk to me. You know, we're not...
I'm not happy about the whole situation, to be honest with you. You know what? I'm hanging up.
Detective Richard Rule is now convinced Heather is not just a missing person, and his search warrant proves Brenton Walker is no good Samaritan.
There was a lot going on inside Brenton, and that all came out to bear in the summer of '16.
During a search of his place, Walker stays quiet, but his mobile home is screaming murder.
We had found the firearm. There was a significant amount of her blood found in the trailer.
And most chilling of all, a burn pit right outside Brenton's front door. Sifting through the ashes, detectives find buttons, human bones, and Heather's jewelry.
Her ex-husband still had the leather necklace with the cross. And we saw the picture and we find the cross in the fire remains.
The evidence is painting a disturbing picture of what really went on that night.
It was the only firearm in the house. Found.
And once he saw you walk out with that, that was...
That seemed to be a trigger, because you could see in his face, okay, now they've got the gun, they've got the case, all these people are walking around in booties
right.
and whatnot. So that's when I think it really started to sink in with him.
Detective Rule puts Walker in cuffs and keeps him talking.
He was going to trust me. I was going to tell him exactly what was going on. And I was trying to gain that confidence in him that the best thing to do was to confess.
And Brenton Walker finally does confess. Rule capturing it all on cell phone video.
It just happened. I snapped.
And Heather Young, a woman who just needed a place to sleep, touched a nerve and unlocked a pent-up rage. In Walker's twisted mind, Heather became every woman who ever did him wrong.
No woman will ever in my lifetime do something like that to me again.
She kept talking about her ex-boyfriend, or her boyfriend situation, and blaming the boyfriend. And this, according to Brenton, just brought up a rage that was inside of him, because he felt that women that he had been with before had blamed him.
And Walker's switch is flipped.
And she came in and started doing that right off the bat, and it just triggered something. I didn't plan it. All I did, walk out of the front room, straight to the gun, got it, shot her in the leg. She tried to hobble.
He says he shoots her in the leg.
Right. Now this may be...
Why does he do this?
I don't know if he was going to go kill her, but he decides to then repair her wounds and everything's going to be okay, take her to the hospital. And then things go, again, take a turn.
Came outside. When I realized she came outside, came out here, shot her in the chest. Knowing I was going to kill her. I had no choice then. It was already no point of return.
Now casually sipping water and smoking cigarettes, Walker admits to a horrifying new level of sadism and vengeance.
The fire was going. I remember putting her in the fire because I wanted her to still pay.
Walker says he left Heather's bleeding body in the pit to burn for 18 hours. But the madman wasn't finished. Not even close.
The body's burning, he comes back and he removes the body and proceeds to use a chainsaw.
So he burns the body and then cuts Heather up with a chainsaw.
Yes.
I was still pissed off the next day. Took her over there and cut her up. Dumped her like a piece of meat. Because that's what I was treated like. That's what she was treating this other person like. And I don't know what he was doing. He might have done every bit of that. But where was your part?
It's all Detective Rule needs to hear. Walker is locked into a squad car. But there's one lingering question. Where's the rest of Heather Young?
What was the breaking moment?
The breaking moment was when we were getting near to the jail and we stopped.
Brenton Walker just admitted the unthinkable. shooting Heather Young to death, burning her body in a fire pit, and cutting up her body with a chainsaw.
Cut her up. Dumped her like a piece of meat.
After his hair-raising confession, bringing Walker to justice is an open and shut case. There's just one nagging question unanswered.
We need to take step one, and that's find her.
You don't want to know.
I do want to know. I need to know. I gotta know. It's my job to find out.
Shackled in the back of a patrol car, Walker suddenly coughs up where he dumped Heather's body after brutally murdering her.
He realized we had enough. We were going to find out, and why drag this on any further.
And he gave it up.
And he gave it up.
How bad are we talking?
Yeah. It's not human, I know that.
What did he say?
He said, I'll take you to where her body is.
And he led you to that location?
And he led us right to that location.
It's down this wooded path where Heather's remains would eventually be found.
In the summer of 2016, Walker would load Heather's body onto his ATV and transport her far into a green field near an electrical tower. But as I stand here today, the path to Heather's body is blanketed in snow.
It's a perfect place to commit a killing.
He has trails back there, there's water back there, nobody knows you're there. It's a perfect place for that type of situation.
Police audio is rolling as Walker leads investigators through the tall grass to the place he left Heather in pieces.
When we walk up here, what are we going to see? Garbage
Body
bag?
part.
Body part?
Describing again what he did and why.
She came in right away blaming the guy. My wife did that to me and it wasn't right. It wasn't true. She got the chainsaw and cut her up. I wanted her to pay like I paid for what my wife did to me.
2 miles from the scene of the horrible crime, Walker stops cold and points to a row of trees near a power line.
Going just inside the woods a little bit. And you'll probably smell her, you'll find the part.
What did you find?
We found the remains of Heather Young, charred and burned.
Cut up with a chainsaw.
Cut up with a chainsaw.
I see 2 main pieces to her. Is there more than that?
The whole body's there. There's probably 10 or 12 pieces.
He had been trying to tell people that he had visions of burning people, lighting people on fire, and I enjoyed it.
He enjoyed killing.
I believe had we not caught him, that this could have happened again.
Like I said, I just went through with my wife. She's lucky she's not around. She's on my list. Okay. She was next.
And you believe if he had not been caught, he would do it again?
Yes, I do.
Brenton Walker tells cops he went into a rage and pleads guilty to the second-degree murder of Heather Young. But if Heather's family is expecting any remorse from Walker, they are horribly disappointed.
You were in the courtroom for the guilty plea.
Yes.
It was quite a scene.
It was.
As Presque Isle County Judge Scott Pavlich sits stone-faced and Heather's parents look on in horror, Walker doesn't express a single ounce of humanity or remorse.
I'm by no means sorry about what I did.
Unbelievably, he's proud.
Well, now when I was given the opportunity to follow through with something that I've known for a long time I'm capable of doing, it felt great. I feel vindicated because of it. I've never felt better in my life.
When push came to shove, he immediately degraded Heather Young and her family.
The fact that it happened to this particular individual was because, number one, she reminded me a lot of my ex-wife and other women I've been with. A liar and a
I can't imagine, as a parent, listening to that.
It was really hard. I mean, you don't know. You have no idea
I don't.
how bad I want to walk across that room and just do something horrible to him.
When it's her turn to speak, Heather's mom instead hopes something horrible visits Walker in prison.
I hope you live in misery and pain for the rest of your life, and you will be every prisoner's little Susie.
Little Susie. Meaning?
Meaning that I hope you'll be very popular in the shower with all the guys.
And he stands there with a smirk on his face? That is not right. And they need to bring a death penalty back into Michigan. Well, I wanted to kill him so bad, right? I can't hardly sleep at night thinking about my daughter.
But the real fireworks explode as Heather's daughter Lorraine Cunningham stands to speak.
Get rid of this man. Just
And her fury is uncontainable.
my mother was never a
He was laughing in court, mocking the victim's relative statements. What does that say about it?
We were dealing with a very, very sick individual.
Walker is sentenced to 45 to 70 years behind bars. But that's nothing compared to the life sentence of grief and anger for those left behind.
I know I'm going to need to forgive him, and I'm going to have to forgive him from the bottom of my heart.
Can you do that?
Not today.
We reached out to Walker in prison for comment. He declined our request for an interview. The prosecutor's office decided not to charge Heather's daughter Lori with anything following her courtroom outburst.